Many of you have probably seen the viral video where an elderly woman approaches Greg Oden and jokingly asks, "Do you play basketball?" To which he responds, "I used to."
Hey, do you play basketball?
I used to.
Are you this? I can beat you.
It's a funny moment, but also quite heartbreaking when you realize the full context. This is Greg Oden, one of the most talented basketball players of his time, and here's his story.
I'll be remembered as the biggest bust in NBA history.
Greg Oden is one of the most well-known names in NBA history, with a career that became one of the biggest what-if stories in modern basketball. He was burdened with immense expectations when he entered the 2007 NBA draft, but a series of serious injuries overshadowed his entire career. Oden was once seen as the next big basketball dominator, a player who would take over Shaquille O'Neal's legacy and dominate the league with his physical presence. However, despite his enormous talent, Oden was never able to fully realize the potential he undoubtedly possessed. His career remains a fascinating and tragic example of how injuries can change the fate of a sporting prodigy. The story of Greg Oden begins on January 22, 1988, in Buffalo, New York, where he was born before moving with his family to Indianapolis, Indiana. From a young age, Oden stood out because of his size and athletic potential. Standing over 2 meters tall, he was already an exceptional athlete in school. However, it wasn't just his height that set him apart from his peers. It was also his agility and basketball IQ. Even in high school, he began to establish himself as one of the greatest basketball prospects in the country. Oden attended Lawrence North High School in Indianapolis, where he quickly became a dominant player in high school basketball. In his senior season, he led his team to 2 state championships and was named USA Today High School Player of the Year for his outstanding performance. At that time, Oden was not only known in Indiana, but nationwide, with many experts considering him the greatest basketball talent since Shaquille O'Neal. Standing 2.16 meters tall and possessing an amazing skill set, Oden was the prototypical center. He could dominate both offensively and defensively. Additionally, he stood out for his ability to read the game and involve his teammates, making him a versatile player who was expected to shape the future of the NBA. After graduating, Oden decided to play for Ohio State University, one of the most prestigious basketball programs in the country. Although he struggled with a wrist injury in his first college season, he still managed to dominate college basketball in the U.S. In his only season with the Buckeyes, Oden displayed the skills that would make him a potential NBA superstar. With averages of 15.7 points, 9.6 rebounds, and 3.3 blocks per game, he led the team to the Final Four of the NCAA championship and was widely regarded as the clear first pick in the upcoming NBA draft. Yet, despite his impressive statistics and extraordinary talent, Oden was already dealing with injury problems during his college days, which would later become a constant companion throughout his career. The 2007 NBA draft marked a pivotal moment in basketball history, as it was the year in which Oden and Kevin Durant were the stars. Oden was selected with the first pick by the Portland Trail Blazers, while Durant went second to the Seattle Supersonics. Many viewed Oden as the better player, given his dominance as a center, which the Blazers needed. The decision to select Oden as the first pick seemed logical, as the Blazers were looking for a player who could lead the team in the coming years. Experts saw Oden as the future leader of the team and a player who would dominate the NBA in the years to come. However, just before his first official game, the first problems arose. Shortly after being selected in the draft, Oden suffered an injury to his right knee, which forced him to miss the entire 2007 to 2008 rookie season. It was a harsh setback that not only affected his career, but also the hopes of the Trailblazers, who had pinned their hopes on Oden to lead the team into a new era. Despite his absence, the Blazers remained optimistic that Oden would return after his rehabilitation to strengthen the team. However, this hope was soon overshadowed by more injuries of the season. This was just the beginning of a series of injuries that would dominate his entire basketball life. The years 2009 and 2010 were marked by recurring injuries. Oden, once considered the future dominant force in the NBA, continued to search for the form that would make him one of the best centers in the league. However, he was unable to find the necessary consistency, as injuries continually set him back. During this time, his frustration grew, and the question of whether he would ever return to his best level became more pressing. In 2011, there were further setbacks as Oden had to undergo yet another surgery, and his playing time remained severely limited. The Portland Trail Blazers eventually gave up and decided to waive Oden from the roster in 2012. This marked the end of a disappointing era for Oden in Portland. However, Oden was determined to continue his career and sought another opportunity for rehabilitation. In 2013, he received another chance when the Miami Heat signed him. It was his last chance to prove himself in the NBA and perhaps revive his career. Yet, even with the Heat, Oden was never able to regain the form that had been hoped for. In the 2013 to 2014 season, he played only 23 games, and at the end of the season, he ended his NBA career, one that had never reached its full potential. The injuries never left Oden. His knee problems prevented him from achieving what many believed was his destiny. There are countless speculations about what Oden could have accomplished if he had remained healthy. Could he have brought a new era of dominant centers to the Trailblazers and the NBA? Would he have been able to dominate the game like Shaquille O'Neal once did? The questions remain unanswered, but the fact that Oden was never fully healthy leaves many fans and experts with a sense of disappointment and regret. After his retirement from basketball, Oden largely withdrew from the public eye. He began studying at Ohio State University and became involved in other aspects of life outside of basketball. Oden also engaged in various social projects and used his experiences to mentor and support young athletes. Although his career on the court never reached the heights that were once expected of him, he found a new perspective and began to carve out a path away from basketball. Greg Oden's story remains one of the saddest and most fascinating in modern basketball. It is the story of a player who went from being one of the greatest talents of his generation to becoming one of the biggest what-if cases in NBA history. But despite all the injuries and setbacks, Oden remains a symbol of the potential that can lie within basketball and the fact that talent alone isn't always enough to guarantee success. The story of Greg Oden is a lasting reminder of the inevitable influence of injuries in professional sports and the untapped potential of an extraordinary talent. That's it for the video, guys. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time.